Let me tell you about the morning a second sky came down behind the hills. No sirens, no sonic boom, just a quiet folding of light, like the air had remembered how to kneel. Jonah was mending a corner post. Sera was tracing the faint hum still sleeping in the swale when the horizon blinked wrong. A dark seed drifted down where the pasture runs out of names. It didn't land. It decided to be still, and every bird in 3 counties forgot their next note. This is the kind of visit you can't walk back. If that craft is corporate, it means seizure papers with wings. If it's from Sera's people, it means the past has caught up. Either way, the secret life Jonah and Sera built turns into a stage. The wrong hello could cost them the field, the house, the herd, and the promise that Earth can learn gently. Because once you answer a door like this, you don't control who steps through next. The craft settled beyond the cedar break, where the soil tucks itself into a low bowl. Jonah and Sera didn't run. They reduced distance carefully. Fence line, thistle patch, a ribbon of cracked clay that still remembered drought. The thing on the ground was the size of a truck bed and the color of river rock after rain. It reflected nothing and everything, like a shadow taught to shine. Sera's face changed by degrees. Curiosity, caution, recognition, grief. "I know that geometry," she said, a whisper the field tried to keep. "Not collectors." Jonah's breath eased half an inch. "Then who?" "Archivists," she answered, and the word felt older than explanations. The hull unscrolled without moving, seam lines becoming invitations. Air flowed inward, then out, like the hill itself exhaled. No ramp, no door, just space deciding to be between. A figure appeared, not stepping so much as arriving. Human tall, human-shaped, wrapped in a coat that looked woven from twilight. Their face was ordinary in the way stars are, plain until you try to name why they hold you. Eyes silvered like Sera's, but weathered by travel. "Sera," they said, voice carrying the calm of libraries. "You taught the ground to listen." Sera stood straighter, not relieved. "And you came to answer," she said. "Or to quiet it," the figure replied. "Before others do." Jonah's hand found the fence post like a handle on sense. "Neighborly would be telling us your name first." The stranger nodded once. A respectful bow translated into human manners. "Call me Oren," they said. "I keep records of the living." Jonah's jaw worked around a question that couldn't decide which door to use. Sera spared him. "Why now?" "Because you made a voice," Oren said simply. "Voices attract audiences." Overhead, a hawk remembered its note and called. The morning continued as if it had never paused, but Jonah knew. Days don't go back to sleep after this. They walked the boundary together because walking is how rural people draw circles of trust. Oren didn't stride. They matched. The dog, unfooled by strangeness, sniffed a coat that smelled like long flights and dry air, then approved with one slow blink. Jonah made coffee because that's the law of porches. Sera poured it because manners are anchors. "You heard our field," Jonah said, handing Oren a mug. The archivist cradled it like a rare book. "We heard the pattern you gave it," they corrected gently. A kindness that became a frequency. Sera's eyes narrowed. "You didn't come to seize." "No," Oren said. "I came to warn." The word made something old in Jonah tighten like wire. "Warnings come with invoices." "From who?" "From the markets," Oren said. "From the collectors of collectors. Your rain, your soil's new memory, adjusted yields in a way the satellite syndicates can't price. They will come smiling. Their paperwork will look like gifts." Sera stared toward the swale, jaw set. "We will say no." Oren's look was not unkind. "Then they will rename your Noah non-compliance. Different word, same cage." Jonah leaned on his knees. "So why tell us?" "Archivists usually archive." "Because records aren't cages," Oren said, almost offended. "They are maps. Maps help you choose roads." They glanced at the windmill. "You kept something older than your contracts. That interested me." "What do you want?" Sera asked, too direct to let suspense become a weapon. Oren sipped, considered. "To ask for a copy of your pattern. To place it beyond seizure. To teach other worlds that rain is a commons." Jonah barked a laugh he couldn't find a leash for. "And in exchange?" Oren held his gaze. A shield, thin as paper, strong as law. The word law landed like distant thunder. Oren set a small square on the table. Thin, dull, no flash. A charter, they explained. A declaration that your pattern is a cultural practice, not a product. Culture is hard to patent. Sera turned it over. Both sides felt like honesty trying not to look expensive. Who recognizes it? She asked. Enough, Oren said. Not all. Enough to slow teeth. Jonah thought of inspectors, liaison cards, drones that blink when they lie. You said markets will come smiling. If we sign nothing, do they still come? Oren didn't blink. Yes, they'll offer partnership. Research access, pilot programs. Words that mean, let us stand inside your gate until your gate is an idea. The dog huffed, as if offended on their behalf. Sera slid the square back. What does your charter cost? Attribution, Oren answered. Your name's attached to the pattern in a registry outside their reach. The pattern itself recorded in redundancies. Soil recipes, timing, restraint. Your restraint is the genius, by the way. Restraint rarely survives translation. Jonah looked at Sera. She looked at the field. If we do this, Jonah said slowly, do we paint a bigger target? Oren's smile was tired and true. You already painted it when you helped the land remember. Silence held court while the wind worried the porch ribbon and let it go. Finally, Sera said, if we sign, can we refuse every stranger who arrives smiling? You can refuse politely, Oren said. Polite refusals travel better. Jonah chuckled reluctantly. We have practice. They walked Oren through the pen, the biofilter, the swale, showing, not selling. Archivists noticed what salesmen rehearse past. Oren noticed the nail holes where an older fence had failed, the ash circle where a burn pile ended the drought early in a bad year, the way Sera's trench followed the land's old memory instead of forcing a new one. Your work listens, they said quietly. Collectors don't listen. They inventory. Sera's shoulders eased a notch. Why did you leave your people? Oren's expression changed by degrees like a sky losing weather. I didn't leave. I stepped sideways. Archivists serve memory, not mandates. And if mandates come anyway? Jonah asked. I step aside again, Oren said simply. And I bring good records to the people underfoot. Jonah's chest hurt in a way that wasn't illness. Underfoot, people don't get many emissaries. Then keep this one, Oren replied. Not me, the record. They stopped at the swale. The subsonic hum threaded up, gentled by Sera's dampers. Oren knelt, palm on earth. Their eyes glinted with the soft grief of homecoming. This tone, they said, is older than any ship. It's your bedrock speaking, old water under stone. Sera's breath caught. Not my people, then. No, Oren said. Your work woke Earth's own archive. Jonah let out a laugh that filled his lungs like honest rain. So the invitation is local, he said. Oren nodded. But local songs travel if you play them loud. Afternoon swelled. Heat made the paint on the gate smell like pennies in summer. Oren opened their coat. No weapons, just instruments that looked like metaphors. A pen, a small coil of wire, a folded square of dark fabric that could have been a flag or a napkin. If you'll allow, they said, I can anchor the charter right here. Sera studied the coil. No broadcasts. No broadcasts, Oren agreed. A document buried in plain sight, stitched into your windmill's ledger, echoed in the swale's pattern, duplicated in places that ignore subpoenas. Jonah whistled low. You make paper sneaky. I make memory stubborn, Oren corrected. Important difference. They worked quiet. Oren linking windmill ticks to swale pulses, Sera humming a thread to fit, Jonah logging water levels and shade hours because human handwriting belongs in holy places. When it was done, the dog sneezed theatrically. Everyone decided that meant so be it. Now what? Jonah asked. Now, Oren said, you get visited. By who? Polite sharks. Sincere ones even. That's the trouble. Some will truly believe they're helping. Sera tied another red ribbon on the gate hinge. Then we practice a new sentence, she said. No, thank you. Our song is already sung. They didn't wait long. As dusk stained the clouds copper, a sleek speck rode a straight line across the sky and resolved into a minimalist shuttle that screamed focus group. It touched down with gentle arrogance at the community road turnout, close enough to watch, far enough to deny proximity. 3 people approached on foot, 2 in breathable gray suits, 1 in denim, and a ball cap like they'd dressed from a brochure labeled folksy. "Evening," the cap said, bright with friendship that hadn't met friction. "We're with Horizon BioAg. Heard you're pioneering resilient soil protocols. We'd love to partner." Jonah rested his elbows on the fence, the universal posture of someone willing to be polite while the clock works. Sera stood beside him, still as a weather vane in a wind you can't sell. "We publish open," she said. "If you want the method, you don't need our gate." Gray Suit 1 smiled professionally. "But imagine impact at scale." Sera smiled politely. "Imagine patience at scale." Oren observed, quiet as a shadow that learned manners. The cap tried again. "We can protect you from bad actors." "By becoming our good owner?" Jonah asked, too gentle to be unkind, too clear to be misunderstood. Gray Suit 2 checked a tablet as if the script might update itself. "We'll leave literature," they said finally, setting down a packet thick enough to stop a small bullet. "You're very kind," Sera said, not fooled. "We are busy." They withdrew to their credit without bruising the air. The packet remained on the post like a captured moth. Night brought a different knock, lighter, human. Mrs. Linden stood at the gate with a tin of peach halves and eyes that had been crying for someone else. "Heard your visitors," she said. "Brought something sweet to cut the taste." She glanced toward the hill. "And I saw that ship." Oren inclined their head. "Archivist," they offered, because truth told quickly steals rumors' oxygen. "Not a taker." Linden studied them, then nodded once, like someone who'd met teachers before. "Lost a calf in spring," she said to no one in particular. "Everything feels like a loan since." She set the tin on the post next to the packet. "2 gifts, 1 edible, 1 paper. You'll need friends," she added, "and someone watching the road when you're too busy watching the sky." Jonah's throat tightened around gratitude. "We'll trade back," he said. "Water rights workshop Saturday. Your place?" Linden's smile was tired but game. "My place. Bring that ribbon trick. People need pretty reasons to learn." Oren stayed the night in the craft beyond the cedars, a neighbor with their porch light turned off. The field slept light, like a patient between nurses' rounds. Jonah woke twice to check the wind direction for no reason he could name. Sera sat on the porch and wrote a sentence over and over until it learned not to wobble. "No, thank you. Our song is already sung." Morning peeled itself from the dark with the sound of a kettle that knows why it's alive. Oren returned with dew on their coat and a small stack of identical squares. "Copies," they said. 1 for the house ledger, 1 for the barn, 1 for Mrs. Linden's pantry jar labeled receipts, 1 for your dog's favorite hiding spot, because thieves forget to check joy. The dog wagged as if briefed. They placed the squares each with a small ceremony, a breath, a touch, a word. Sera hummed the field into remembering them. Jonah, not a ritual man by nature, found himself saying amen without sound. By late morning, Horizon sent a second team with sunnier faces and a cooler full of branded seltzer. "No contracts," the new lead promised. "Just a site tour and conversation." Jonah shrugged. "You can see the same from the road. Trade secret?" She teased. "Trade season," he corrected. "It's called waiting." Sera stepped forward, eyes kind and immovable. "We don't host negotiations that redefine our lives," she said, tone so gentle it cost them nothing to hear. "But you're welcome at Saturday's workshop. We teach together there." The lead's smile dipped, recalibrated. "We'll RSVP." They left the seltzer like a small bribe from a culture that thinks bubbles are diplomacy. Oren watched them go. "You were generous," they said. Sera shook her head. "We were clear." Clarity, it turned out, tastes better than any drink on a hot day. Evening pooled softly at the hill when Oren returned to the craft. "I'll go," they said, "and carry your pattern where teeth are duller." but I'll listen from far." Sera's face showed the relief, and the ache of trust turned into distance. Jonah offered a hand. Oren took it, warm, human, present. "If it gets loud," Oren said, "tie another ribbon." "What color?" Jonah asked, surprising himself. "Any," Oren smiled. "Colors are just manners wearing light." The craft unscrolled the day back into itself, then lifted without scaring the grass. The only proof it left was the bowl of earth smoothed flatter than wind could manage, and a sense that the valley had been seen and not claimed. Sera and Jonah stood until the sky forgot to be dramatic. The hum in the swale remained soft, like a neighbor humming in their kitchen. Company, not command. On the porch, between the tin of peaches and the packet of offers, the charter square lay like a stone that chose to be paper. Jonah tapped it once. "We keep farming." Sera tied a new ribbon, blue this time, on the gate hinge. "We keep listening," she said. And somewhere under everything, the old bedrock answered in its patient key. Good.